Hello there, people. Today's episode of the Conservative Redneck will be a little bit different than most others. Today, what we are going to be doing today is we're putting a little twist on the usual thing. What we're doing, we are going to see if we're going to see if I can try to be a liberal. I'm sorry about this. I was watching a little video earlier, but yeah, more or less what we are going to do is we're going to see how good of a liberal I am and to see if I am a liberal. So let's go ahead and start this personality quiz. Alright, so shut up. Now, should the growing inequality between the top 1% and the rest of society be addressed through government redistribution? All right, so I'm going to answer this as honestly as possible. Not really. Progressive taxation is not the answer. We need a fault tax. No, the market is always fairly decides what people are worth. The rich deserve their wealth, and progression taxes merely class envy. Yeah, I don't agree with that completely. I agree with it to the point to where all rich people, if you get rich, you're not getting rich off of exploiting the bottom class. If you were exploiting the bottom class and the if Bernie was right and the rich get richer and the poor get poorer, then what would happen is at some point there'd be no poor people working because they couldn't get jobs. But in an economy that's ours, a free market economy, the poor get richer and the richer get richer. Everyone makes money. Everyone can lose money or make money. But if you're holding a sales job at McDonald's, someone say me, who's currently making no money, if I'm working at McDonald's, I'm still getting richer. My net worth is still building up. Even if I spend my money on something, that was to the fault of me, not to the free market economy. So things like that. But yes, my answer. So incorrect. Uh-oh. So I'm apparently a bad liberals right now. Yes, taxes on capital gains and the rich should be increased in order to redistribute income. I disagree. You're pretty wrong. So, what should be done regarding the Bush tax cuts? They spur economic growth and should be expanded. They redistribute income for the middle and working class to the rich and do not spur growth. Waste resources, therefore, ought to be repealed. Actually, I support tax cuts. Tax cuts are a very good thing because I don't believe our big government should be getting a lot of money. I believe we should still pay taxes to local government as well as big government, but I don't think I should be funding a senator's paycheck. I believe that I should be funding a military man's paycheck. I should be funding a private's paycheck. I should be funding the roads and stuff. And people say things like, "Oh, well, you need roads or whatever." Yeah, the thing is though, if that it really is an issue, what will end up happening is people get together to build roads. They will build roads with the funding of other people. That is tax at the end of the day, yes, but people are going to fund it. They're not funding multiple different things. They're saying, "Hey, I want to fund this one specific thing," and that is probably tax. But I'm a little bit tired right now. I don't know why. I'm tired this Sunday. How should marriage be defined between a man and a woman? Well, actually, right here, between two consenting adults. Okay, no. I believe, yeah, between a man and a woman. I am apparently wrong. Also, I do agree with that, though. Government should not regulate marriage contracts. Government should not be involved in none of my business. But yeah, it's between a man and a woman. Being gay is a sin. That's written in the Bible. I'm a very big Christian when it comes to my ten commandments and stuff. I follow the good word of the Lord and the good word of God and everything. So yeah, so who should face the most risk in society? Individuals facing risks will keep them are responsible. For example, a market based on healthcare seems to keep individuals from using excessive care. Institutions and the government should or huh? Should shoulder most risks, reducing the risk faced to individuals. People should never have to worry about their basic needs being met. I disagree with that. I believe it's onto the individuals. The government should not have to worry about that stuff. Also, at the same time, I believe I understand why the government hands out things like welfare and stuff, But at the same time, there's also people who are just too lazy to work. You can meet if if you truly are very poor and you're just working and you don't want to get a job because you're too lazy, you should not be getting a welfare check. You should not be making money, period. You should be on a street sleeping on concrete that was put up by a hardworking blue collar Joe or white collar. I can't remember. But basically, if you're too lazy for a job, you shouldn't get free money. Nothing's free in the world. But yeah, continue on with this. With the world. So when is a person free? When his or her needs are met and he or she feels secure. When he or she is left alone by the government, not told what to do. Yes, I agree with this very much. I also agree with this. I believe you are free then, but also believe that you are just as free here. You are just as free when you are left alone by the government and not told what to do. I don't want to be told what to do. Of course, I believe in laws. I believe that the government should be able to say, hey, don't cut each other's heads off. Hey, to put use your blinker and don't be an a-hole and possibly cause people to wreck. I believe in that too. That's not just one thing. It's laws are very much there to more or less keep people from being a-holes. I feel like that's a mutual understanding. So sure, some laws are stupid. One of my favorite laws in the world is here in the state of Virginia. You cannot buy lettuce on a Sunday. Why is that? I don't know. But there are beautiful stupid laws around the world, such as in London, you cannot commit or is it's either London or the United Kingdom as a whole. If it's the United Kingdom as a whole, then that'd still also be funny. But as far as I know for sure, in London and or the whole UK, you're not allowed to participate in suspicious activity with it's either salmon or tuna. So yeah, you better not be playing fish Jenga, you little dirty man. So is nationalism outdated? Yes, all humankind forms of one single ethnicity and moral community. Ideally, there would be a world government. No need to restore our nation's sovereignty. I agree with that. As a nation, we started as people saying, "Hey, we're sovereign from everyone else. We're our own thing. We're our country, and ain't no one gonna hold ties to us and make us do anything we don't want to or disagree with. We are us, and if you got a problem with that, you can go ahead and talk to Brandon about how the war went to them." But yeah, we started that way, and I hope to God we end that way. Yeah, to continue on, right here. What constitutes a rational and just immigration policy? Letting all peaceful immigrant. Okay, instantly. This, yes. Restrict immigration. Now eh, this, sort of weird. I believe, yeah, we should restrict immigration. In the way that I believe that you should come in, if you come in legally, you are well within your rights to call yourself an American citizen. You are no more American than me. But if you come into this country by jumping the wall, you are very much less than American than me. You're actually so less American than me that you're not American at all. You're just an immigrant, an illegal one. Now, immigrants are good people. Illegal immigrants are not. Well, not they're not bad people, but they end up screwing America as a whole because they'll work they a lot of people say they just do the jobs that we don't or whatever. At the end of the day, they don't pay taxes, they don't do anything, they don't have to pay bill. They do pay. I think they pay bills. I mean, they a lot of things that we have to do as citizens, they don't do. A lot of our hardships, they don't gotta suffer. But yes, admit that they say I'm wrong because I'm a conservative racist according to the internet these days. How should people be rewarded? From each according to his ability, according to his need. So to see that. So depending on one's contribution to society, according to the free market. According to the free market. Now, here's what I disagree with. Each from his ability, according to his needs. Okay, who's going to say who needs what? Alright, cause yeah, I keep myself. I say, hey, you don't need you don't need beef because I'm a vegan and I live perfectly fine without beef, but you do need coffee because I can't live without coffee or things like that. saying needs, well, then you have someone saying this, and if you're gonna leave it up to the person to say needs, you already know I'm going to tell the whole world I need $1 million very desperately, and I definitely need everything, including a Lamborghini. Let's admit that, blah blah blah. Yeah, that's supposed to be our answer. So is the harm principle is a good guide for public policy? So I don't know what the harm principle is, but I'm just gonna go ahead and assume it off of the answers. Yes, unless you can provide a per, unless I, yes, you can, fuck, yes, unless you can prove a person's action caused harm, you should not infringe upon individual liberty. No, the social order is too fragile. I'm going to assume this means like, this is me saying an assumption. I'm going to assume this means like you're innocent until proven guilty. So unless you can prove the actions person has caused harm, you should not infringe upon individual liberty. I agree with that. Or like I don't get it. Here. Wait. Oh wait, harm principle. Is it like if you hurt my feelings or something? Cause if that's the case, then I'll tell you what I am choosing. No. Cause it means like hurting feelings or something, then no. I actually got that wrong. I would this that would have been stupid, but I hate that. That was honestly wrong. Now, does government need to ensure the provision of basic human rights? Now, I actually will sort of I so yes, the police, healthcare, and education must be guaranteed by the government and made and available for each individual regardless of their status in society. I actually agree with this. And I'll tell you what, not the healthcare part. Healthcare, I disagree with, but police and education, very much. I believe you should have the basic right to education. I believe you should also have the basic right to police and safety. Things like that, I believe you have the basic right to. Healthcare, no. No, 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 no. You shouldn't have to work off someone. You, like, for example, doctors, free healthcare is stupid. Okay, if you're getting free healthcare, why is that doctor even working at that point? Are you're higher in taxes? Guess what? I'm paying a stupid amount of taxes that pay for a whole bunch of other people's healthcare when I might not use it. But if you have health insurance, you're paying for your safety, for your own responsibility. If you f yourself up, guess what? That's on you. You can do that. Well, see, the things like this, I honestly, I would also say education, sort of. I wish there was an in between, because I'm more in between. Please, I believe, yes, there should be a basic understanding, because someone might be like, hey, I'm richer than everyone else, so I get to make up the laws, and someone else is like, hey, no, I have the same amount of money or a little less money, but I can also afford police, and I think we should follow these rules, and then you'll have different sorts of areas, and I believe that that's a lot more better. But I also believe that the public education system. So, you know what? After thinking of how crappy the public education and healthcare and stuff, you know what? I agree with this, but to a certain extent, right here, the police, I disagree with. So I'm saying I'm in between, but no. Just cause, for example, public education, if you have private education, which we have, private education is actually much better than the public education because you're paying for your student, for your child's learning, or just your learning in general. For people that go to college, they're paying for their learning. For parents that take their kids to private school, they're paying for their kids' learning. For people who pay health insurance, they're paying for their own safety and their uh, wives, husbands, I guess, kids, things like that. But yeah, I agree with everything up to the police part. The police part's where I honestly have to disagree. How should global warming be addressed? Okay. First of all, I believe that there is global warming, but not to the extent that people say. People have been saying since like the 90s, if I'm right, that the world is gonna end from global warming and for example, was the world gonna end from global warming in 2012? Not 2021, but 2012. 2012. Yeah, right here, and all sorts of stuff. Like, also this came out in 2012. Wow, that's actually surprising. But yeah, I find it funny. But yeah, see, for the longest time, things have been like, hey, the world's gonna end if we don't end up doing something about it in the next insert years. They've just kept on pushing more, saying, "Hey, we were wrong this time." They've been wrong about dozens of times at this point. So I believe global warming does exist, but the thing is, we're not. It's not warming. For ever since the carbon dating of the Earth, there's always been an increase of heat every so thousands of years, then it cools down every so thousands of years. Alright, the ice age is one thing that actually caused it. We're not going to go into another ice age, but we will get a lot cooler. Like say this couple thousands of years, the average summer temperature is like 94. Well, the next couple thousands, it might dip below the more 89, 88 type region. It's just different time periods, different things. Earth's been around for 4.5 billion years. This stuff's just been going on and on. But yeah, go ahead and answer this. Before any action is taken, more research is needed, as there is still no evidence of human caused global warming. I agree with that. Yeah, I agree with that. Because like, there's not exactly a lot of evidence that says that your old neighbor Billy Bobby and his diesel truck is causing the world to end. Of course, I believe that does have some impact, but there's not anything saying directly that says, "Hey, this is instantly like this clearly." And at the same time, though, fossil fuels are very important. For example, coal is one of the leadest providers of energy there is. Coal's a major provider of us in general, as well as it's a very secure one, because no matter what, coal's always going to be very useful. It doesn't rely on nothing except for coal itself. Coal only relies on itself, and that's it. With something like solar panels, well, let's say something like it's cloudy for the next year. Okay, it's not saying this will ever happen. Actually, no, no. The best example would be in Texas when that one winter hit not too long ago, and like their solar power was power grids. Like their windmills, they froze up and didn't move any. Like basically all the electric energy of Texas became useless because of how strong it was. The winter was. So, for example, it's not very good. Basically, it's not very secure and it's not the best. But right here, as I think right here, well, I guess you might as well say this, discourage pollution while subsidizing environmentally friendly technologies. Yeah, I believe we should try to get more environmentally friendly technologies. I don't believe we should go completely green. God no, we should at never one point in our existence should we ever go green. That'll be an immediate downfall if we ever go all green. But I still believe that we should try to focus on somewhat making environmentally friendly technologies. But yeah, like Tesla cars, I actually really like Tesla. Their cars are just cool to me. Sure, they don't got no noise, and sure, it ain't got that American noise of the gun of the combustion of that engine go rrr, 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 but still pretty cool. Especially that, God, that auto driving thing. I swear, Elon, you outdid yourself with that, cause like self-driving, man, that would be sick. I think there's also like but cars have cruise control and crap. But still, though, that's still pretty awesome the way that is. Just to have it to where you go to sleep. Don't though, it's very dangerous. Technology is never going to be perfect. It'll be good, it'll be close to perfect, but it's not perfect. Especially not now. Technology is not even halfway close to perfect. It's good, but not perfect. What's the best approach to curbing crime? Longer prison sentences, restricted immigration, and stricter punishment of minor infractions. I sort of agree with this. I don't agree with that last part there. Restricted immigration. It's been proven that immigrants do cause a bit of crime. Not like a major part. If I were to say get rid of the people causing crime, then there would be no African Americans. I'm not. At first, I want to say I'm not racist, but it has been proven that they do make up a majority of the crimes. At the same time, though, that also be messed up. You'd also have to include white people. We also commit a whole bunch of crimes. Hispanics, every race makes crimes, and it's not black people. It's not the skin color. It's the culture. it's known that black people are raised around gangs and hoods, and gangs are known for crimes. You're less, even though you'll see that one white dude throwing up them weird signs, acting like he's gangster. He wouldn't even steal a candy bar from a fucking from a gas station. Okay, he's the farthest thing from gangster there is. All right. Right here. Poverty reduction, investment, social services, and urban redevelopment key to lowering crime. I agree with all of this up till this point. Social service, sorta. I think both of them are both very important. I feel like if you were to, well, another thing that actually causes a lot of people to do crime is poverty. As bringing up, for example, how African Americans do most of the crime. I'm gonna say black people now because I am starting to hate the way I sound. Even though black people do most of the crimes, it's also because a majority of them are in the poverty line, especially with hoods and crap. And it's not their fault, as said. It's the way they're raised. And that's not to say all black people are bad. For example, Kevin Hart, that dude's funny and he's stupid rich. Uh, God, I have plenty of black friends. I got Jaden. No one says he did anything that's like throwing up gang signs. Dude's one of the coolest and funniest dudes I've ever met. Dude's awesome. My friend Makai, dude's one of the funniest and coolest dudes I've ever met. Dude's awesome. And guess what? They're not both throwing up gang signs. They're both not looking at each other saying, "Hey, yo, bro, I'm gonna shoot up your hood," or something. They're not doing that. Then again, it's because we live in rural Virginia, but still, though, you're not seeing people do that stuff just because they're cool. But yeah, I agree with that. Okay, I got both that was wrong, but I believe longer prison sentences and like that, because if you make your crimes harsher, it's gonna encourage people to not want to do it. But yeah, I do agree with that though. Make things a lot more stricter and people are gonna be more afraid to do things. Alright, what are the most economist liberals? Because objective evaluation of empirical evidence regarding the economy helps to support liberal viewpoints. Because without government intervention in the economy, there would be less demand for economists. I'm trying to think of. Okay. Oh wait, why are most economists liberals? Mainly, I'm be honest, it's saying this, but mainly it's just 'cause it looks good for them. It looks good for them. You see, when you see Republicans, the way we act, even though we act more logically, we say things like, "Oh, the we say things since us conservatives are logical. We say things like the man should be the one working and the woman should be the one taking care of the home." The kid should not be using hormone blockers or changing his gender. He should be outside playing baseball with his dad and getting good grades at school, doing their homework. We believe in things like that. And I know that sounds evil. We really are the one true ultimate hellscape. God knows if the whole world were to go conservative, the world would end. Oh wait, America was conservative at one point. It's called the 50s and 60s. I'm not talking about the racist part. I'm talking about the part where the man worked, the woman stayed home and stuff. Now, the race part, I will say, is one of the most evilest things ever. Racism is an evil thing. I swear, I think it's one of the most evilest. Racism is an evil thing, and honestly, I hope to God something like racism never happens again. Not to the extent of the 50s. It was evil, and that's not even talking about the 1850s. Now, why are most economists rules? Because objective evaluation of empirical evidence regarding the economy happens to support liberal viewpoints. Because without government intervention in the economy, there would be less demand for economists. I'm just gonna go with this, because like I honestly don't exactly get it. Because the right answer isn't even on here, or my right answer. I'm gonna go on with this. So what constitutes a rational and just drug policy? No. That is wrong. If you legalize all drugs, guess what? People are gonna do more dangerous things. It's stupid to say that to legalize drugs. If I legalize coke, if I legalize let's say methamphetamine or heroin, there's gonna be people fucking wrapping their arms up in their cars trying to get the needle into the right vein and shooting them up with heroin. At the meantime, of a perfectly good family in the minivan could be killed by the one psychopath who said, you know what, I can't beat this addiction. I really need me some good old heroin. So I'm gonna take a chance of killing my life and killing everyone else's. Stupid. Now, stricter enforcement, yeah, I agree with this. Now, let me see. Assign soft drugs the same status as tobacco and alcohol. Discourage excessive consumption through taxation and education. I believe that this, and like right here, I believe in this. If you kill the source of where the drugs are coming from, you won't have the drugs no more. See, where we went wrong in the Reagan administration, we were going for the drug dealers. We need to go for the drug dealers, but not to the extent that we were. We need to be sending ourselves out into Puerto Rico, places that are, I'm not being racist, but they are, if I'm right here, uh, God, uh, the world's leading cocaine producer. Colombia, sorry, I meant Colombia. But yeah, Colombia is a top cocaine producer. I think we should be going into Colombia and eliminating the field straight there. If you get rid of the producers, you get rid of the distributors. It's that is just how it works. If you get rid of the if you get rid of the producer, there's no more distributor. Sure, if you get, for example, if you get rid of the game developers, the company that gives out the game and sells it, they're not going to have the game to sell because the game producers didn't produce the game. That's how it works, people. Hit the source. That's the best way to do it. I believe we should do stricter enforcement. And like it's not soft drugs like that is just that's just stupid. But yeah, I believe like this is perfect. That's the best thing to do. But right here, how does the U.S. compare to other developed countries? Let me see right here. So, save for a few countries, quality of life to the U.S. is considerably higher, providing that the welfare states in Eastern Europe are counterproductive and perpetuating the common good. While the U.S. has a higher standard of living than the most developed countries, it also is home to more poverty, higher inequality. Yep, immediately when I saw that, that is absolute BS. America is not racist. America has once been racist, but not only was America once racist. France was at once racist. England had children working in coal mines. They had slaves too. Don't believe me? Look it up. I'm not being evil or something. Russia had slaves. About every single currently developed country at one point in time had slaves. America is not the only country to have slaves. We were not the only ones, alright? God. For as far back as we can remember, slaves have been around since the dawn of man. Since the dawn of man, we have been forcing people to do things against their will in our own, our own advancement. So let's go and see this. So, shut up. So, alright, so certified achievement, I got a score of 13 out of 100 on Are You a Liberal? So your result failed. Well, I'm actually surprised. So I only got two correct questions. One was because I didn't understand it, the other two was because I didn't have the right answer. But, so we're gonna go ahead and go back. Go ahead and just, I want this. I wanna go ahead and go back. Yeah, right here. So, so yeah, liberal. No, let's try liberal word trivia. So, no. I mean, hmm. Well, you know what? Let's do, one day I'll do the political spectrum test for anyone who's ever wondering. I'll go ahead and do that. Alright, well, here's one thing. Uh, I want to see this, hopefully this quiz isn't exactly like, I'm just seeing how many questions. Okay, so this is like, I'll do the political compass quiz one day. There's multiple quizzes, but I'll do the political compass quiz, even though it actually sucks a lot more. Political compass quiz actually sucks a good bit, but I will still do it eventually. I just don't know when. So I like to post political articles or comments on social media. Agree. I do. I do that a lot. For anyone who's watching that knows my personal Instagram, okay, Boomer Like King. I post a lot of political stuff. That is like 90% of my stuff that I post. I read or watch a lot of political content every week. Yeah, I watch a lot of Steven Crowder, Ben Shapiro, Matt Walsh, Michael Knowles, people like that. I directly participate in political campaigns. I'm underage, so I can't exactly say I do. I don't, because I just can't. But if I could, I would. I would somewhat, but I rely on scientific sources to understand political issues. Yeah, I agree with that. I believe science is sometimes right, sometimes wrong. Science is never always right, but there's a good chance that sometimes that science is usually has some sort of basis. It usually has some sort of evidence. That's why it's so that's why you can trust it sometimes. But you also have to keep in mind that sometimes science is wrong. It's happened in the past where science is actually wrong about something. But yeah, you just never know, so always keep your eye open. So I want great change, so I want to greatly change the way things are. I somewhat disagree. In the way that I like how I don't want to change a lot of things. I don't want to change. I would like to change, for example, the way riots are now. Get rid of them. Make whoever riots, make that a crime. Look at them as no more than terrorists, because that's what they are. Send some. I mean, get really serious. I'm talking. Screw it. If they're, I don't mean protest. If our government ever starts cracking down on protests, we need to overthrow our government, because that is when it goes from a government to a tyranny. But for as long as it is riots, and the definition of riots is when protests go violent and start destroying things. For example, the January 6th riots. It started off as a protest. My dad was at the January 6th protest, and then later on, it turned into a riot. That's just an example of the conservative way. Now to go on to the way liberals have done it. All the Black Lives Matter protests. Uh, yeah. Only one conservative riot that happened only once, and close to about 50 or so riots, probably a lot more. I'm probably being too generous, not to even mention how liberals tried to start up Chaz and Chop, and that ended horribly. Chaz and Chop, for those who don't know, it was supposed to be like a sovereign country in like somewhere in can't remember where it was. I can't remember, but it was like somewhere in like, man, hold up. See if they're still doing Chaz. Yeah, a Capitol Hill organized protest, or CHOP is what they ended up calling it. So I don't remember, but yeah, it was. Oh my God, it didn't even last a month. But yeah, so right here, the violent end or whatever. So more or less right here, just it was a little thing, whatever. These people thought it'd be smart to create their own little country. It failed horribly. It was easily one of the worst countries in the world, even though that it was never recognized as a country, just because they were not a country. They literally just defended borders, and America was like, you know what, we're not gonna do anything about it until y'all start actually doing something serious. Then we'll just overrun y'all's tanks and take your oil. Y'all better move y'all's cars out, cause we here for the oil. Alright, but I want to greatly change the way things are. I disagree, of course. I can do, and I said someone disagree just because riots, not like man at work, woman in the house, as always. I do everything I can to protect my traditional religion. I definitely agree heavily. An education system that teaches science and tolerance is essential for democracy. Disagree. Science, that's not essential for democracy. That's essential for learning. Science is important. Even though I think schools should not be teaching like all these. I don't think schools should be teaching the square root of 49 to be 7. I think they should be teaching though on how to cook, on how to do your taxes, actually important things you use when you grow up, instead of teaching us things such as the mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell. One of those you'll clearly paying taxes is you'll use the mitochondria of the cell, you likely will not, or at least a solid percent of America. I believe that people are good at heart. I disagree. People can be good at heart and people can be evil. Well, you know what? I'm gonna have to go neutral at that actually. Cause like you're born good. Cause like it was proven there was a little test that I think it was either at Stanford or Harvard. They did a play with with kids watching, really young kids, newborns. More or less did a play, more or less had one puppet be mean to the other puppet. And when they went to give the puppets to the kids, they only pick one. The kids always picked the nice one, the one that wasn't being mean. But yeah, I you know what? Yeah, I'll say neutral. I'm sort of leaning towards disagree, but I'm just gonna keep it on neutral for now. I know I also want to somewhat disagree, but the U.S. should always honor world agreements and support our allies. I'm a, I s- I'm gonna stay neutral. I honestly can say like honestly, I know that we've done said that we won't nuke other countries, but honestly, for example, with the way North Korea was being back in like 2017 or 2018, yeah, I feel like they would have wanted to go to war. We should have just took them off the map. We took Hiroshima and Nagasaki. We'll take y'all off too. Who cares to be erased from human history? Atom bomb can do wonders. But as far as the support the allies part, I do agree with. We should always support our allies as long as they're not doing nothing bad. Of course, if we were Hitler's with Germany back when they turned Nazi in 1941 or 1940, or was it nine? It was. I'm just going to say 1939 because I believe that was it. But if we were allies with Germany when they turned Nazi in 1939, I think we should have immediately said several times and said, "Screw y'all, yo Britain, what's up, bros?" But yeah, our plan itself should be a priority over business growth. Uh, you know what? I'm gonna stay neutral, cause cause right here, our planet's health should be a priority over business growth. I agree and disagree. Business growth is also important in a small aspect. I really want small businesses to grow, good old grandma and grandpa businesses, 'cause they're not doing nothing. Sweet old grandma and grandpa just baking bread for just for like $5 a pop. $5 a pop for a little donut or something. I mean not for a donut, but like $5 a pop for like a 12 pack of donuts from a grandma and grandpa store. Yeah, their business should grow and prosper. I hope to God it does. Love Grandma and Grandpa. But also believe our planet's health should be important. As I said earlier, our planet is not going to explode tomorrow just 'cause John Robert dropping the ended up dropping a receipt on the ground. All right, I really don't see that. Projecting, yeah. This is where they get you. Let me go and say something. I hate when they do this. You can't see me, I'm pointing at this right now. Projecting LGBTQ rights. Ah, these two I agree with. LGBTQ rights. You know what? Yeah, I'm gonna just have to agree. Just cause I'm gonna have to go with the majority. I don't see how they don't have rights. Literally, just cause, like, especially these three right here. Lesbian, gay, bi, and queer, whatever, those four, sorry. Like, I'm sorry, but yeah, you date a certain kind of person that they're not at one point in time are your rights being violated. Just cause you walk into a place, say, say how I like to apply for a job and be like, hey, I have a degree at Harvard. Like, yeah, we'd love to hire you. All right, let me quickly tell my boyfriend about this. You see, we have a small issue there. You got a boyfriend? Yeah, you can't be gay here. We're gonna have to deny you, man. I mean, even though you're highly qualified and have a Harvard's degree and you're more qualified for this job than anyone here, but just because you have a boyfriend, I'm just gonna have to let you go, man. That's just how it is. Like, stupid. So my country should respect immigrants and provide a fair path to citizenship. I agree. I believe becoming a citizen of the United States should be hard, But I also believe that it should be no harder for a Canadian to become American than a Mexican or a Latina or a Brit or a Russian or a Chinese man or a Japanese man. Things like that. Maximizing business will should be our country's top priority. I actually disagree. Our country, or, well, hold it, that says country and not government. Then I'm gonna have to, like, somewhat agree. It shouldn't be our top priority, but I do believe it should be pretty high up there. Our government's priority? No, our government should have nothing to do with that. Our country as a whole, I'm gonna have to stay like, eh. You want businesses to prosper, because without prospering businesses, then you're more of a, instead of the beautiful boiling soup of America, you'd have more of like the ugly, horrendous swamp that just happens to be lukewarm. But yeah, so access to universal and affordable healthcare is a fundamental. This I wish there was a couple buttons back here for this one. You as a person do not, you're not guaranteed healthcare. You're not guaranteed access to someone else's labor, alright, just because you don't want to pay for insurance or pay, period. Free stuff it does not exist. Affordable healthcare? Sorta. Not yes, not no, but sorta. Universal? Sorta. But for, like, honestly, like anything like affordable taxes, yes, universal, whatever, or whatever. Like, I mean, affordable tax crap, yes. Affordable healthcare, no. You're not allowed to work off. You're not allowed to get free things off of somebody else's pension. It is stupid. Government should strongly regulate businesses. I also wish they were called buttons back. My government should not be in any of my business. It's not the government. I did not say the government's business. I said my business. The government does not need to know jack diddly do squat about me. For all I care, they better stay keep them tails in Washington and let Joe Biden keep pulling us out of other countries, because Joe Biden apparently doesn't keeps on mistaking the fucking silver wire brush for the toilet paper. Submit my answers. Now, stalwart nationalist. You're determined, assertive nationalists fighting for tradition. Stalwart nationalists are loyalists who harness hard-hearted rationality to promote their values at all costs. You respect law, authority, and tradition, often with a winner-takes-all mentality. Yeah, I'd agree with that. With an America first mindset, I very much agree with that. Our country should come before any other country. You believe that protecting traditional American values and high economic growth are the country's top priorities. Unafraid to speak your mind and let everyone know how you feel. Yeah, I'd agree with about all of that. The American values, like especially that part of that's like unafraid to speak your mind. Anyone who knows me personally, doesn't matter if you're Democrat or whatever, I'll speak my mind. You like it or not, you best bet you gonna get a big ol' earful. Now, gal, that says 84% Republican, 'cause I'm pretty darn conservative, if you ask me. But I mean, hey, I guess. But like right here, American first mindset, yeah, American values, high economic growth are country's top priorities. See, I'm going to just see this. So, overview, alright, so we're gonna go ahead and just read all this. You project confidence. Also, first of all, to all the people wanting to say something like, "Oh, are these tests good?" Don't. You can only say for yourself what you are. Do not let other people say what you are. If you think you're liberal and you think just like a liberal and you just say, "Hey, I'm a liberal," be a liberal. Say you're liberal, even if a test says that you're a stronger conservative than me. You can vote liberal. Ain't nothing stopping you. It's the same way backwards and forwards, left and right, up and down. No difference. But you project confidence, charisma, and authority more than any other political personality type. As a matter of fact, when you are inspired, you are easily able to lead and guide others around a common cause with your sharp demeanor and self-confidence. Hey, that's nice. But being strong-willed and efficient, you are also known for your my way or the highway type of mentality. Now, I'm gonna have to agree and disagree. If someone does something another way from than me, I must respect it. But if I can't do it their way, I'm gonna have to be like, hey, look, I'm gonna do it my way, and we'll have to sort of find a way to meet in between. So yeah, I'd say I'm halfway like that. Like I'll try and do it your way, but if I just can't, then you best bet I'm gonna go my way and find a way to meet middle with you. But that's just because you're unafraid to say to them what you believe to be true. If you disagree with someone, you're likely to let them know it immediately. Others may see you as insensitive or overly practical. Very much, especially insensitive. Your feelings do not matter nothing to me. I won't be intentionally mean, but if I am mean and you don't like it because I'm mean, I'm not trying to be mean on purpose, but I couldn't care if I seem mean to you, personally, in my opinion. But of course, I'm not gonna like. I will sometimes, like, if I'm going on a date or something, my girlfriend says, "Oh, well, I don't like it." I'm not gonna be like, "You idiot! This is clear." I'm be like, "Hey, I mean, I split hairs with you there, but like, you look real fine, so we good." But yeah. But this doesn't stop you from saying or achieving what you believe to be right. You can be a little uncanny in how you achieve your goals, but you don't care as long as it gets the job done. I agree with that. I'm very much like that. I'll achieve my goals multiple ways. If I gotta move like 100 bricks, and someone says, "Here, well, let's just do it by hand," you best bet I'm gonna go ahead and get a hand truck, stack them all up, and get them delivered there. While that person delivering like 4 bricks at a time, I'm delivering 20 on my hand truck. Guess what? I get it done before you, and I get it done in my way. I still get the job done before you, so I mean, hey. So yeah, I agree with that. In politics, you're more likely to support a cause that revolve around tradition, faith, and job opportunity. I agree with that because as a conservative, we do believe in tradition that a man in the house, a man at work, a woman in the house, kid being kid, throwing ball and getting good grades, things like that. I believe the man should die for the woman and child if it need be. I believe in things like that. I believe in faith. I'm a very strong Christian. Of course, if someone's an atheist, I'm not gonna be all like, oh, you're an atheist. How dare you? I'd be like, hey, I respect it. What you think is actually pretty cool and interesting. Because I would believe atheists are pretty interesting. Because I'd honestly wonder what they think happens if you die if it's just like eternal sleep. That's actually pretty interesting. Some things, just other religions, are interesting. But for example, in job opportunity, very much so. I believe that everyone should try and get a job. If everyone has a job and keeps the world turning around, that's perfect. We want people to aspire to be rich. We want people to become monopolies. We want all of this. That's really good when people can have a whole bunch of money and live comfortably. Hell, more than comfortably, they live perfectly. I'm happy for that. Or your top values. As a stalwart nationalist, your top values focus around your protective nationalism and exceptionalism, even at the expense of broader social norms and programs. Policy should be optimized for maximizing domestic jobs with limited oversight. First of all, if you're bored, I do recommend you taking this site because they do dive deep into it, even though they might not get you completely right. And I'm not saying go off do not base your entire personality off what this says, but still though it is pretty cool. It's at least a little bit interesting. Right there is it names. Just look up politicalpersonality.org. But to continue on, as a stalwart nationalist, your top values focus around more of nationalism and exceptionalism. Even at the expense of broader social norms or programs, policies should be optimized for maximizing domestic jobs with limited oversight. I'd agree with that. Maximize jobs, you rely on the economy to be working as it should with a max number of jobs. I agree with that. I want there to be as many jobs as there are out there, and I want a really strong economy. That's something that's really good to have for a country. And that's something that's just really essential. If you always have a job, you can always make money, you can always live comfortably if you have a good paying job and a job that you like. Shoot, if you have a job you enjoy, it feels like you never. I know people know the saying, haha, I feel like I never work a day in my life. Blah, 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 blah. But seriously though, if you have a job you enjoy, you actually do so much during the day that by the time you get home, you're like, man, I actually enjoy my day at work. I can't wait to do this again. You actually have a good time, especially if you have an unpredictable job where things change up. Even though you're not always gonna get used to it, you're always gonna be excited on your toes, ready to think, I wonder what tomorrow's gonna be like. Tomorrow's gonna be interesting. For example, archaeologists, even though that they are not a practical job, not a job that exactly the world needs. I still think it's cool because guess what? They're always making new discoveries, man. They're always doing a whole bunch of new things. Things like they're always doing new things. Like they're always on their toes. Like if will I discover anything tomorrow, or will I know? Am I going to do this or this or this? Like so many things. But this thing on protective nationalism, traditional American values, and faith should be protected at all costs. I agree with that. I believe the right to religion is a very important thing. Just in general, your right to religion should be protected. I believe if you want to be, if you're Jewish and you want to be Jewish, be Jewish. If you're Catholic and want to be Catholic, be Catholic. If you're Christian and want to be Christian, be Christian. If you're atheist and want to be atheist, be atheist. If you're Buddhist and want to be Buddhist, then be Buddhist. Simple as that. So limit oversight. Business and individuals should be free to pursue their goals without government intervention. I definitely agree with that. National security policy should be prioritized to protect America's domestic and global interests. Yeah, I agree with that. I believe we should prioritize and protect America's global, domestic and global interests. That's very important. So political traits. Using MPP's trait and engagement criteria, your personality match as stalwart nationalist shows higher levels of political engagement and value assertiveness. This means that you aren't afraid to publicly voice your opinions, even if it upsets others or come across as controversial. You tend to steadfast in your beliefs, meaning that your views aren't easily changed by new information. I agree with that, except at the ends. You know what? Nah, I agree with the end. Even if new information comes out, I'll usually say, hey, even though this is out, I still am going down with my own. I'm still at my point. I'm still going to be like, hey, I'm rocking with this. So, I mean, I will say I'm sort of like that. Political engagement, low, high. Yeah, I'd agree with that. I do definitely. So as you can see off of the podcast list to your video, people, I call it a podcast. This is a podcast by definition. It's a podcast, but some people like to say video, even though I don't see how. It is sort of a video, but for example, Steven Crowder's a podcast, even though he records videos of himself, does little skits. Matt Walsh, Ben Shapiro. That's not, but idealism. Pessimistic, optimistic. I will say I am closer to pessimistic. Like I'm usually gonna be more down the core. Like I'm less of a half full. I'm like for example, the best thing is hold up. So pessimistic and optimistic water glass water. Like this is something very much so. But if I go here, of course this seems stupid. But I'm sort of like this. Pessimistic, glass is half empty. Yeah, I look at it a lot like this. I'm very much like this to a point where I'm like, hey, this glass is half empty. I need more water. I'm almost out. This dude's like glass is half full. I want more water, or this glass is half full. See, this person, they want more to be sure that they're more secure. They want to say, hey, I'm almost out of this, or hey, almost something, or whatever. They're like, hey, I need to go up. I need to get some more water before I run out. This is like this glass is half full. They're gonna keep saying, "Hey, this glass is a quarter full." They look at it in a very happy limelight, which is a limelight that is good. But that limelight also can cost them in the long run if you only look at things very gladly. And realist is one of the best things there are to be. And anyone who is a realist, God bless you, because you are awesome. Like right here, this glass is half full and half empty at the same time. That is exactly what this is. This half empty, this half full. It is all the same. They can look at something in multiple ways. And this right here is very funny. I really like this. A realist glass of water. Physics, liquid, liquid, uh, liquid gas, artist, skeptic. It's now water. Oh, wait, it's not water. Surrealist, utopist. But yeah, that's actually pretty funny. But yeah, so change appetite, so status quo, major reform. I don't exactly know what that means. As stupid as I'm about to sound, I really don't know exactly what this means, so I'm just gonna sort of just say okay. So decision making process, emotional reasoning, analytical reasoning. I gotta disagree with that. I am very much analytical reasoning. Like when it comes to decision making, I am very much more if I'm going to make a decision of either I want strawberry or chocolate ice cream, I'm not gonna say, man, but that chocolate just makes me feel sad. I'm gonna say, well, in my opinion, strawberry tastes yeah, yeah, nah. In my opinion, chocolate tastes a lot better than strawberry. If strawberry is just, it's probably gonna be lot more calories. So I'm like, just censor some BS thing. I'm looking at more the second option. I'm looking at it more like this tastes better. This is less I don't look at calories. If anyone knows me, like I got a bit of chunk. I got my shit with a little belly, a little jiggle on me. But yeah, that's what agreeableness goes on. See, I Eh, I will say I am closed-minded. I am closed-minded. Like, although I am also open-minded in the sense that if someone tells me something that I never knew, and it's like really cool, I'm gonna be like, wow, that's super awesome. Or if I tell people something like if someone tells me that that a star exploded, causing a supernova, and it had a giant cloud or whatever, like a space cloud, and it's all pretty. And someone's like, "Man, that looks really cool." I'm not gonna be like, "No, it doesn't," just 'cause I'm close mine. I'm not gonna be like, "No, it doesn't. That cloud looks ugly and stupid. I like this more." I'm not gonna be like that. I'm gonna be like, "Man, you are right. This looks super cool. I'm glad I've got to see all this in my lifetime." Value assertiveness. Yeah, I will say I'm very assertive. I very much like to start off saying, "Hey, I think of this. I believe this. I'm more here. I'm not gonna be passive. I'm not gonna be like, well, sorta. I'm sorta back down. I'm gonna be a lot more assertive. I'm gonna put the hammer down. I'm gonna say, look, bam, drop my 50-pound steel fist. Say, this is where I stand, and this hand is very heavy, so I don't plan on lifting it up anytime soon. But yeah, your ideal society. An ideal worldview is one where traditional values, institutions, and religious rights are helped drive social and economic policy. You believe that people should toughen up and pull themselves up by their bootstraps and not wait for government to come in and save all day. I have never heard of something. I actually say that this is very right. I definitely believe that. I believe people should toughen up. I believe that if someone says you're fat, don't dwell over it. Say, okay, take it to the chin and walk on. I believe you should pull yourself up when someone kicks you down, because guess what? Don't stay down. Sure, they said it. Guess what? That's one person. That's two people. Even if it's 100 people, I got plenty of people that don't like me. Guess what? I get up from my bed each and every day, and I still have a grin on my face just because I know how many people I've irritated. I don't let nothing affect me. It hits me in the chin, slides off my shoulder, and I keep walking. Shit, I might jog after it just because I feel so good. And don't wait for the government to come in and save the day. Don't. Your government's not there for you as a citizen. Our government does not care for us. They care for they, them, and thee, not my, me, and I. Know that. Alright? But the role of the government should, well, I guess it'd technically be they care more about me, my, I, than they, thee, them. You get what I mean. Basically, they don't care about us as citizens. The role of government should be to promote the free market and let businesses do what they want. I agree with that. Ideally, the government should not fund large social safety nets, but rely on private market to fill in those demand gaps. I agree with that. You would thrive in a society where you can speak your mind openly without fear of hurting someone's feelings. I agree with that. The freedom of speech is easily my favorite right. The only other right that is as important to that right to me as any other right would be the Second Amendment. The First Amendment is the most important amendment in my opinion, and the Second Opinion comes second. And I'll tell you why. Cause guess what? If they're not gonna give us the our First Amendment, we'll take our First Amendment with the Second. That's just how it is, baby. 223 556 762 by 39. 22 if you wish. 45 ACP 9 millimeter. Anyone except the 380s. If you have a 380, please stand your ground and your little bunker. It's probably less of a bunker, more of a cardboard box. Anyone who has a 380 sucks. Not 308. 308 is awesome. So man, God, have y'all? Hold up. Let me quickly just 308 rounds. Just to show you the pure size of a 308. Right here is 308. Alright, basically, for those who don't know, 308 is just 762 by 5 by 51, okay? Right here, if I'm trying to look for it, yeah, right here, that's 38 caliber bullet. That is the size of it. For example, this isn't including the shell. This is just the bullet, its actual self. Like, I'm trying to see if there's anything that compares to it right now. Like a little thing right here. Yeah, like right here, 308 Winchester versus 338 Federal and 50 and 4570. Those don't know, that's 4570. That's 308. That's 308. That's 338, and that's 4570. Also, for those who don't know, this round here packs a big old punch. Those who don't know, guess what gun shoots that? Give you a hint. That's your little lever action Winchester. That little cowboy gun. That's what that shoots. Them things are big and powerful. Trust me. God, I love them bullets. But yeah, they will thrive in society where you make your mind or whatever. Blah blah blah. Without hurting someone's feelings or coming across as offensive, I very much agree with that. You believe you should be able to tell like it is and if people don't like them, then that's their problem. I very much agree with this. If you don't like it, that is your problem, not mine, not no one else's. You're right here. So political party alignments. So Republican. So I'm more or less like so I guess it's so yeah, I'm apparently so yeah, I'm more Republican. So I'm more Republican and Libertarian than I am Democrat and Green. For those of you who don't know, Libertarian is more or less like Republican, but with a couple of liberal views. Like for example, Republicans, we are against weed. Libertarians, they're usually for weed. Personally, I don't care if you want to roll a doobie. I mean, as long as you aren't harming no one. Now, if you are now, you shouldn't roll a doobie while driving. But if you're just at home on a recliner watching football, get drunk, and say, "Hey, I just want a little quick puff of weed," then go ahead. I could not care. Right here is liberty, wealth, health, and environment. I agree. That is more or less me. I do care much about liberty and wealth, and I care much about Republican and Libertarian. So 2020 presidential match. So Democrat ticket 22%, Republican ticket 84%, Libertarian ticket. I like how the Green Party is 4%, Libertarian ticket 71%. So yeah, like I said, a lot more Republican and Libertarian. Privacy priority, social health care. That's low priority. I believe you should have. I believe that as a socially that you should get healthcare insurance. You should worry that I should have to worry about my own insurance. Everyone else can worry about their own health, and I shouldn't have to worry about. I believe I should have to worry about Austin's health, not Billy's health. Honestly, my health is my important. But yeah, environmental health. Yeah, it is a pretty low priority just cause it's not at a like our environment isn't at great risk as of right now. Like global warming, we're not gonna die in like 2022 if we don't change immediately. But yeah, wealth maximizations, I believe that, yeah, very much. I believe that wealth should be at some of our highest priority. I want everyone to be rich and prosper. Immigration rights, I believe that immigrants, like actual immigrants, not illegal immigrants, but immigrants should definitely be not a priority. I don't believe they should be no more a priority than American rights. Also another reason I worry about immigration rights is just 'cause they got equal rights. Same scenario with that social equality. Everyone has equal rights. This isn't the 50s. Black people aren't sipping from water fountains and women can't get jobs. Everyone can do their thing nowadays, alright? There's no inequality. And anyone who says so is that speaking absolute BS they heard off CNN. But education reform, I'd actually bump that up a bit. I would love for the public education to get better, but right now I much more would just say I'd much rather the government just say screw it. No no education, just end up kids go to private school. Private schools are anyways pretty good. They're much better. But religious fundamentals, yeah, as a Christian I place God above everything else. There's not a thing in this world I place under God. Not a single thing. Not my country, not my fam I mean I'm above God. There ain't a single thing in the world that I place above God. Not my country, not my family, not nothing. God comes first, everything else comes second. But amicable global relations, I do agree with that. I honestly think that America should worry about America and not anywhere else. But law and regulation, I sort of disagree with. Oh well, law regulation, I agree with. Regulation, I'd put at like 10%. Law, I definitely bump that up. I very much care about law. Without law, there's not order, and without order, there's chaos. Chaos is evil. Right here, strengths pragmatic. Your decision making is grounded in reality, not in emotional real. Okay, so yeah, it does. Alright, so it meant that I'm not emotional. Yeah, okay, so good. Yeah, it says my decision making is grounded within reality. Confidence. You project your confidence in everything that you do. I agree with. I'm very much. I like to boast my confidence. I guess sort of. Sort of like I sort of walk around with my confidence, just like I stand high and proud. Right here, so charismatic, you're easily able to pursue others to your line of thinking. Yeah, I can persuade others. I've actually made a lot of my friends, that's actually how I've gotten a lot of my friends onto this podcast because I persuade them and stuff. But yeah, I am very persuasive. I can definitely get people to. I'm not manipulative. I will never force someone to do something against their will, but I am persuasive. I can persuade people to do a lot of things. Like I can persuade someone to be like, uh, hey man, I got a question. I see that you're about to get that car, but I'm telling you something, man. That car's not a good idea. This other car is a much better thing. That car you're getting right now is worse on gas mileage. It costs a lot more. It's gonna bite you a lot more in the long run. Other car can last you longer. Higher Kelly Blue Book, like a lot of things like that. But assertive. Stand up for what you believe in, let others know it. Very much agree with. That's one reason why I have this podcast. It's basically my best way to say I stand up for it, and I'm very assertive. So weakness, judgmental. Okay, immediately I will say that is wrong. I definitely am not judgmental. Anyone who disagrees with me or ain't with me, I will never judge. I hate people who are judgmental. I'll say that's one thing I disagree with. I hate people who judge other people off of just 'cause of little things. I've seen people in some of the worst clothes and shoes, and I swear to God, they're some of the funniest people and best people I know. And guess what? And I never once judged them when I first saw them. I looked down and said, "Cool, that's another person." I didn't say that person's poorer than me. I never said that person's richer than me. I've never said nothing. I've always said that person's a human being just like me, him, she, they, them, tranny, whatever. Perfectionist, you may come across as too practical and not empathetic to emotional causes. I got to agree with that. I do agree with that. I am not very emotional when it comes to certain things. I'm very much practical. I'm very much down to earth. I believe that I like to get pretty practical and pretty down. I'm more or less like if someone says like 1 plus 1 is 2, no, 1 plus 1 is 3. I'm definitely gonna say 1 plus 1 is 2. We've been learning this for the longest time. How do you not see it? I'm gonna be empathetic and explain it to them and exactly tell them tell them in a soft way of why they're stupid. But I will probably explain to them why they are an absolute idiot and why they're absolutely wrong. Be right here. Inflexible. You stick to your guns even if in the face of new evidence or facts. Uh, yeah, I do agree with that. I definitely stick to my guns even in the face of new evidence or facts. Of course, sometimes I will agree with new evidence or facts. If we got enough evidence, I will side with and be like, you know what? Yeah, they make sense, but usually I'll stay next to me. So others can have a hard time understanding or reaching you. Sort of, sort of like, eh. If I would have had Nathan on podcast, I'd ask him about that. But like, I don't know. I mean, I'll have my friends tell me, but like, I don't, off of what I know, I'm not really hard to talk to. Like, if I very much like to explain things so they can understand me. But yeah, I am very hard to understand sometimes, because sometimes I'm just like, I really don't care to explain. I'm like, look, I like this or something. So yeah, sorta, I'm in the middle for that. So, start nationalist power up. So, register to vote and exercise your voice. Join, right here. So future fun. So activated Star Wars are known for being good team builders and for people looking who can help them achieve their dreams and ambitions. For stalwart nationalists looking to get involved to run in for political office, it's best for them to build a team of like-minded individuals who can help them support their achieve their goals. If this personality type is unafraid to speak their mind, they can draw big crowds and find the right people to achieve their means. I'd agree with that very much. Their pro their projected confidence helps people rally around the cause that can often help policies succeed, such as dog eat dog in a dog succeed in a dog eat dog world. Faith valued and stalwart nationalists will find purpose upholding faith-based American values, assuming that American supremacy is top of mind for all. Yeah, I believe America is the best state. Well, I believe. Well, that took us off to right here to an hour and 10 minutes or whatever. So I'm gonna end the podcast here. So yeah, as I said, I very much recommend this. If you're ever bored, don't exactly base your whole personality off of this. As said, never base your personality off of any test like this. It's stupid. Though like I'm just like a little thing here. I actually want to see how many people are join the 13,000. Okay, so like 13,000 other stalwarts, whatever. But yeah, things like this, I actually recommend it. Like, don't base your personality, but it's still something pretty cool to do if you ever get bored or lazy or something, ain't got much to do. But yeah, as always, I'd like for y'all to have a great day, stay safe, and God bless.